one of those type of videos. Oh, ain't one of those. We ain't doing that today. I'm just playing. Hey, finally got all the stuff. We're gonna put this computer together today. Doing like 3 parts. First part, I'll kind of go over all the stuff we got behind me, and second part, put it together, or put the motherboard together on the table. Third part, put it into the case, and do some cable management. I'm not really gonna talk a lot once I get started building. There's YouTube videos on how to put a PC together. I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but yeah, we'll go over the parts real quick. I'll change the camera position. I only have one camera. We'll do a top down, kind of on the motherboard, putting stuff in, and then we'll come back to this position, maybe zoom in a little bit, and put it in the case and see what happens. See if I mess it up too much. But all right, start off with, let's get this stuff out of the way since the boxes are kind of empty anyway, because I've been using them a little bit. Yeah, that's got my address on it, but RGB Platinum XTs. K95 is the keyboard I'm using. I got it hooked up to my laptop already. Kind of been using it and the mouse. Just see what it was like. Got the Dark Horse RGB Pro. Everything on here says Pro, even the dang mouse pad. So Pro doesn't mean anything. But excuse me. That's the mouse I'm using. I'll just throw some stuff around. MM350 Pro, extra large, I think. Let's see. 930 millimeters by 400 millimeters. So that's about 3 feet by 18 inches. I got it on the desk already too. It's empty, but I like it so far. Also got another mat here from Bitwit, one of my favorite YouTubers. It's like Gamers Nexus, trying to support those guys because they're doing great stuff, educating people. I mean, I've already posted pictures of this before, but we're just talking about it. You know how many times I've already taken this in and out of the case, but I put it back in the box just to do it today. Corsair 850 watt RM850X. Got some custom cables over there, so we won't be using the cables that come here. I actually put the motherboard in the case and the power supply in the case and measured the distance for each cable, because I want to try to do as little cable management as possible. So I ordered custom length cables from Cable Mod. Pretty good reviews on them, and everybody uses them. So it took a long time to get them, but I hope it'll be worth it. Okay, the kind of brains of the system, the motherboard, MSI X570 Infinity or Unify. I'm going to have to do a BIOS update to this before we can even set the computer up after it's all put together, because I got the 5000 series CPU, so it's pretty good. It's got Gen 4 PCIe all the way through the board. If you get like a B550, it does have 4th gen PCIe capabilities, but usually on the top slot and the top M.2 drive. So this board's got it all through the whole thing. Every M.2 drive I'll put in here, and anything else she's going to put in here, it would all support Gen 4 PCIe. Alright, we got kind of a surprise to me. I ordered, as you can see on the sticker, this is the only piece I overpaid for, but if I don't focus, it says 5900X. I paid for a 5950X, the price, but I ordered a 5900X, but it came in the mail, and to my surprise, it was a 5950X, 16 core, 32 thread processor. Hey, if you don't tell nobody, I won't tell nobody. I'm not sitting in the back because it costs the same price as retail. And you can see it on the chip if it'll focus. I'll show you later if it don't focus, but my ceiling fan's on right above it. But I ain't gonna tell nobody if you don't tell nobody. Keep your mouth shut. Alright. It looks like Corsair sponsored this video, but they didn't. Got Corsair 32 gig, 8x4, 3200 megahertz. Dominator Platinum RGB. Obviously, this is like their top tier one. The jump from 3200 megahertz to 36 megahertz was like double the price. So, from what I've learned online, it's not worth the cost difference. So, we're just going to enable XMP and make sure we're getting all 3200 megahertz out of this. I'm not too worried about it. Alright, some paste. I bought this, I don't even need it. The cooler comes pre-applicable paste. I'll keep this if it ever cracks or something, but it needs to be redone. But two drives. These are going to be the only storage drives I have for right now. The case does have a hard drive, a 3.5 inch drive cage in it. Holds 3 drives. And I actually got an accessory right here to make it hot swappable. There's a back plate. Just can swap hard drives in and out. Say you lose one or one goes bad or something. Excuse me. Making a smoothie. If one of the drives go bad, you can just hot swap it. I do plan to get 3 drives to fill the cage out, probably 6 or 8 terabytes a piece. Put them in RAID 5, lose a drive, but have a pretty good amount of storage, 12 or 16 terabytes, but I have that parity drive in case one of them fails. I won't lose any data, so that'll be cool, but it's later on down the road because that's like another $500. I'll show you the case in a minute, but it comes with accessories. This is the second one. It comes with a Type-C cable hole on the front I/O, but no cable, so you have to buy that separately. But I will have USB 3.1 Type-C on the front panel, like charging your phone or whatever. But I got so many different ways to charge my phone on this desk. It's stupid, so maybe like a Thunderbolt hub or something. I don't know. Probably never use it. Oh, I forgot to tell you about the drive. Corsair MP600. They're at the time they were the only PCI Gen 4 drive on the market, but since I've ordered these and more have came on the market, but it says theoretical read speeds almost 5 gigabytes and 4.2 gigabytes per second write speeds. Yeah, this is 1 terabyte for game library and storage and stuff, and 500 gigabyte for the operating system. I'll show you how those go in. For my cooling, Let's get over here to the good stuff. Again, not exactly the video card I wanted, but got this on the new Egg Shuffle. Basically, it's a raffle to see if you're able to buy something. It's a beta software thing they came out with, but it's a 3070 Zotac Gaming. Again, I wanted to go with MSI. I'd be happy with 3070. I'm happy with it. I'm glad I actually got one in my hands, but I wish it matched the system. I was going for MSI theme type deal, but we'll just have to wait until the market gets better for that. I can always sell it and buy the one I want when the market's better. As far as the cooling system goes, again, another Corsair product. That's my all-in-one liquid cooler. The 5950X is going to need more substantial cooling than an air cooler, so I went ahead and got an all-in-one liquid cooler. It's the newest one from Corsair, the H150i Elite Capelix. I don't know how to say it, but Capelix. Yeah, it's got a different type of RGB technology than the other ones do. Spoiler alert, this is already in the case because I put it in and zip tied all the cables, and I'm not taking it back out and redoing that. So that's the only thing that's in the case. Took everything else back out of it, but I'm not taking this out and redoing that zip tie work. It took me hours. Speaking of which, I got like 1,000 zip ties, so this is going to be neat. Other than that, a little educational thing. I went with ML fans, magnetic levitation fans. I got 6 120 millimeter and 2 140s. The reason I went with magnetic levitation fans is because ball bearing fans that are like oil or some kind of liquid lubricated fans, they do not like to be put in the horizontal configuration. That's due to it's not all the way filled up right, so that liquid will sit in the bottom of it, and the top of it will not be lubricated as well as the bottom of it, and eventually over time that wears out. These are not lubricated at all. They're magnetic. The bearings don't touch the actual fans itself, so I thought that was pretty cool, and hopefully they last a while. I know the RGB is a different story. Might not last as long, but we'll see how it goes. Going back to the all-in-one cooler, I'm not using the fans that come with it. That's why I got so many fans. I said, why aren't you using these fans? Well, they don't sell these fans separate. They're better than these fans. They're also magnetic fans, but they have 8 LEDs in them, and these only have 4. And the whole case will look weird if the front fans have 8 and all the rest of the fans have 4. So I'm going to save these fans for another day. They'll be backup fans if these die, and if they ever start selling these fans separately like they do these ones, I can always upgrade them. But these do spin faster, and being on a radiator, they're higher static pressure fans, but I'm going to have 6, 7, 8 fans in this case, plus the ones on the GPU, and it's water cooled. I don't think I'm going to have any trouble with not having static pressure fans on the radiator, but we'll see. We'll see the noise level. Also check temperatures and stuff all the time. I'm going to have it up on my screen all the time. But let's get to the case. And then I'll move it in to the motherboard. So this is what started it all. Asked for this for Christmas. Got it for Christmas. And then I had to build a PC, right? And it was 2020, and there wasn't a whole lot of supply to match the demand of everybody working from home and building PCs. So I'll take the front panel off. Let's zoom in a little bit. Sorry, this is not a smooth process. All right. That comes off pretty easily. I'll leave it off. These 4 fans are actually on the front of the whole case. This comes down on both sides. Here's a hard drive tray or bay, hot swappable. All right. Tempered glass on both sides. As you can see, my all-in-one liquid cooler is already installed. And it just attaches to this bracket that actually can come out the front, and it was super easy to put on. Take that bracket out, put the radiator on the inside of it, put the bracket on, and then the fans on top of that. It was super easy. Check the glass on this side also. My favorite part of this whole case is these panels on the back. These panels on the back that come off. And then there's one that goes here too, but I don't know where it's at. Wait, is it? No, I just think it's the 2. One is behind the motherboard tray. It's screwdriver. Oh, I got it. You can see I've already started the cable manage stuff. And I've put, of course, there's RGB hub. It's got power and RGB for 6 fans. I got 8 fans, so I'm either going to have to piggyback 2 of these fans on both sides of that, or come down here and add another hub that comes in one of these fan cases and use up another USB port, but on the motherboard. I think I only have 2, so I might initially piggyback the bottom 2 because I don't care about the sequence of RGB for the bottom 2. And if I don't like that, I might get like a USB, in-case USB hub and stick down here somewhere in the bottom, so I have more USB ports. But once you see the motherboard, you'll see like the back I/O and the front I/O here have plenty of USB ports, and I also have a USB hub on my desk as like I can show you, but it's it's like a cable grommet, but it has USB ports on it, and all that does is take a single USB port, plug it up here on the top, on the front I/O, and then you got USB straight on the desk, and you don't have to worry about getting under the desk and plugging something in. I'm going to put this back on the floor, pause the video, and move the camera. I'm going to be top down on my work surface here, putting together the motherboard. Stay tuned for that. Alright, here we go. We got our iFixit kit here. We are going to first take the motherboard out of the box. Take a good look at it. We're going to take out this, and this came out of my case, just in case we need just in case we need that stuff. The only other thing in here is paperwork, so see ya. Oh, you know what? Let's be safe here and put a wrist strap on. The Gamer's Nexus mat here comes with wrist strap and tie down point. If he ever sees this video, I just want to say one critique on this whole pad and electrical grounding system, which is always a good idea. We practice that everywhere. But you see this little, you're supposed to wrap it or put this around a ground pin and plug it into an outlet. I don't know where in the hell they have ground pins with so small ground pin, or electrical cords with ground pins so small. But none of the cables in my house that have a ground pin have a ground pin that this will fit over. This is like the equivalent of having a pencil D ground pin. It's just not working. We got them thick ground pins. So I don't know what to do with that for now, but we do have iFixit here. A ground pin or a wrist strap that will actually clip to something metal. We got plenty of things that are metal, so we'll do that. You know what? Since I'm sitting down, and I'll put it around my ankle like a cool kid. Now, if I get up and trip myself, let's try to refrain from laughing at me. That might hurt my feelings. But it'll be okay. I should have kept that box to work on this with, but we do have this grounded mat, so do that. Put it right down on this mat. See ya. All right, let's get started. Where is it? It doesn't show. Oh, there it is. 4 minutes in, and all I've done was talk. I told you I wasn't going to talk much. I'm a liar. I really don't like talking, but I guess I don't like talking to people, and this doesn't seem like to other people. Alright, get rid of that. I'm just kidding, I'll pick all this stuff up later. You guys that know me know I'm OCD, and I can't leave that shit laying around on the floor. Alright, so this is nicely packaged. Sorry, bear with me. You wouldn't know it. For my confidence level here, but this is my first PC build. Granted, I've worked on PCs forever, but why don't we do that thing, all those famous YouTube guys doing? I'm sure this breaks RAM. That cannot be healthy for RAM stick. But anyway, okay, technically. Oh, let's take a good look at this. This is, my thing is whitewashed. Really bad. Simple Corsair logo, LEDs all on here, and it'll bleed through here too. So hopefully it looks nice. Hopefully there's no clearance issues, because this is really tall RAM. I haven't checked, but I'm not putting a radiator on the top. And if I can't put the 1 mil fans on top, or 140 mil fans on top, I'll just put some 120 mil fans on top. But the way this is lying, these are DIMMs. I got 4 DIMMs here. It's DDR4. They do have a pinout. It does matter where you put these. So right here on the motherboard, I'm not going to zoom in because it'll just blare it, but you can see this white splotch. It's actually text, and it tells you which slots to put it in. Excuse me. So it even has a little arrows that say first, because this can be used in dual channel. There's channel 1, 2 channels for channel 1, or 2 DIMM slots for channel 1, the first and third one, and 2 DIMM slots for channel 2, the second and fourth one. That wouldn't matter if you only had 2 sticks or 1 stick, but we're going to populate all 4 of the DIMM slots, so it doesn't really matter. Sorry. Wish I could play some music, but then if I decide to upload this to YouTube, I could get banned for trademark or whatever. You also have, excuse me. Sorry about that. You also have an indentation in DDR4 that's not completely in the middle. It's off to the bottom side, and you have to line that up. There's a notch in, you can see that clearly. There's a notch in the slot, and you have to put it in so that it lines up. Push it in till both of those levers that I've already put down clip or snap back up. That's in there good. It's kind of a real system that they all glide on, but sounds pretty good. I noticed that the barcode is on the side that you're probably going to see from the case. That sucks. Oh, that was a weak clip, but it's still good. I like this black, this whole black theme. I'm looking at the camera. It just looks blacked out. That's pretty dope. All the plastic still on it and everything. I was going to get the Ace, the MSI X570 Ace board, but I didn't like the gold accents. And I was like, I don't know what to do, because the next level is the Godlike. And that's $700 motherboard. That's a no-go. But I found that the Unify here and said that's the one. Alright, we're actually going to get some tools out to do the next piece. That's the Phillips heads. Yep. Alright, so some peel action. This is a weird looking. And I might have to get in that motherboard box too. You know, it looks like it's already got a standoff, but I need a screw. Let's see. Oh, there goes my phone. A pickle rig. No, this is just case screws. Not going to help us here. Let's get in the MSI bag. Pretty nice bag for motherboard. Okay, so got some cables. Man, I bought right angle SATA cables. I guess these weren't sleeved, but okay, here we go. Here's the Wi-Fi cards, because this motherboard's got Wi-Fi, even though, well, initially I'll probably use Wi-Fi so I can get a switch. Looks like some RGB cables. A little baggy with screws in it. There you go. And why is there only 2 of them when there's 3? There we go. There's 3 M.2 slots, so I have to keep these screws forever because they're M.2 screws. And let's see, let's take this bad boy out. I also got to take the heatsink off of these because I don't like that heatsink. I mean, I don't want it sticking out. I'm just gonna hold this up to the board. Look how small these things are. It's crazy, right? Alright, so to go in like this, go ahead and just measuring. Yep, that's where the standoff needs to be. Let me get a plastic pry tool or something. Take this. I'm taking this heat sink off of this board very carefully because you don't want to break it. Which one did I open? Okay, that's the right one. This is the 500 gigabyte one. Ah, shit. I told you to be careful with it, and then I dropped it. So that was just a heat sink. I really want it to be under the factory heat sink, so I'm taking it off. I probably need a smaller screwdriver head, but put these in at a 45-degree angle, and then lay it down and screw it down. I think I need a smaller Phillips head. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and put this over here in case I need it like that. All right. Jesus. So I'm gonna have to actually read the instructions for, I think, for the mounting system for the all-in-one cooler pump head. Alright, you see how easy that is? Super fast. Peel. Oops, that is not on correctly. This feels a little small. While I'm working here, it'll probably be kind of messy, but clean it up afterwards. So I'm thinking this is the right bracket for the AM4 bracket for the all-in-one cooler, the pump head. But I need to look at the documentation real quick. We can put this other drive on. It's going to be for storage, like I said. Don't forget to peel the plastic off the back of the heatsink, because then it'll not be a heatsink. Just be a piece of plastic touching your drive. Put all this stuff back in here. It should be a pretty straightforward build, even though it's my first one, because there's not a whole lot of stuff off, like outside of the motherboard, that needs to go on. It'll be the motherboard, the video card, power supply, and a bunch of fans. So this shoot, I should put this back in the box. Put it back in there later. I don't even think I've opened this one yet, so I actually need a knife. There's one thing that I've genuinely not opened yet, so sweet. I kind of wanted to get a feel for putting it together and at least look at parts. Clearing of the throat. Alright. This one also has the standoff. I need to take this one out. The standoff for this one is also the clip for this one, so I'll have to put that on while holding it down. I've seen that before. That made me nervous. Okay. You see what I'm doing? I don't want to do it over the motherboard. Drop the last one on the motherboard. I hadn't taken this one apart yet, so God dang it. Scared the shit out of me. These are not cheap. But also I need it to fit under here. So it's a calculated risk, I guess. Take that off. Let's do it evenly here. Apply even pressure. Alright, hopefully that worked. And I guess we'll find out if we broke anything when we turn it on. It's kind of uncertainty of building computers, right? You don't know if you did everything right until you turn the thing on. It's kind of scary. I don't know if you can hear it, but my laptop is working back there, recording this video. It's huffing. Just go in there. Serve a purpose. Okay. That was a little drag. Alright, this is the scary part for me. Throw this trash away. This is what makes me nervous. Okay. Here's the big boy. This is shit. 5950X. Best non-threadripper CPU you can get for desktop use. And nothing else in the box, so see ya. No, really, this is the nervous part. First time doing this with a CPU I bought myself. Okay, so first off is I need to pay attention and fuck the camera for a minute. There's hundreds of pins there, and the socket has hundreds of holes. That's how AMD works. Intel's opposite. The pins are in the socket, and there's no pins on the motherboard. There's a little gold triangle there, and a triangle here. And you know you're doing it right because AMD CPUs are facing this way, not this way. If you try to put it in this way, it's going to be a bad day. Alright, so you don't touch the edge of the pin or the center or the pins or nothing. You just lift this bar up and kind of sit it in here. Just looking at it for a second. There you go. It plopped in there. The pins are in the socket now. You don't have to push it or wiggle it or nothing. And you just close this bar down. It's tighter than I like it. And then you just lock it. There's a clip right there. It's done. You don't touch it anymore. You don't blow on it. You don't look at it. You just, it's there. It's going to work, hopefully. And you didn't bend the pin. It wouldn't go all the way in if you didn't bend a pin, if you bent the pin. Alright. Let me look at the documentation for this cooler. This is about all we can do before we put it in the case. If you're wondering why we did all this here, it's let's take this off. It's because it's easier to work on it on the table than in the case. But like I said, if you want to know the specifications and stuff for any of these parts, that's online. I'm not going to explain all that stuff, but I will point out a couple cool things on this board. It's got a power and reset button right on the board for troubleshooting, and the error code right here. Somewhere right around in here, it's got troubleshooting LEDs, or either right here. I'm trying to look around it, but yeah, that's pretty cool. And I mentioned I have to flash the BIOS to support this chip. It's cool. I'll show you this one thing, and then we'll think about getting it in the case. It's a lot heavier than it was with nothing on it. But this USB port with the red ring around it, you can clear CMOS and flash BIOS right here from the motherboard. I don't have to have a last gen chip in the board to turn it on and power it up and then get set up. I can do it from right here. And I've already got a USB. I'll talk more on that in a second, but or after we get everything together. But I got a USB stick that has an update on it. In fact, I'll probably check the web for the newest update, see if there's a newer update or not. But alright, we're going to put the screwdriver away, put this up, and we're going to get the case up here, hopefully. Let me turn this in here. Oh, that was not metal. Stupid. Why was that screw not metal? Or it wasn't magnetic anyway. Alright. I'm going to pause the video, get the case up here, and get this motherboard in the case. Boom. Alright, we're back. Guess we'll have to work on the right side of this. I did not realize this is the standing portion of the video. I guess I will be standing to work on this. But I had forgot that put the motherboard screws in the standoffs so that I wouldn't lose the screws. Didn't lose the screws, but gotta take them out. And then we can put the motherboard in the case, which I think is going to look awesome because it's all blacked out. And a quick look at the documentation, the cooler documentation. It looks like those guys can stay on. I just have to change the bracket on the actual pump itself. And I gotta find another. I got a bag of screws here because there is one in the middle. But you know what? I think it's under that. It is. It's under that SSD thing, so I'm not doing that. Oop, that's not what I was trying to do. Alright, after we get this motherboard tied down in here, we'll stand it up, or put the CPU cooler on there, and then stand it up. Put the power supply in there, and go from there. But since this is my first build, I don't really know how to hold this motherboard. You saw me earlier probably fumbling around with it, but I'm not entirely sure how to hold this damn thing. I just know it's bad practice to touch the PCB itself or any traces. I don't want to get now it's just a matter of getting it lined up. Oh shit. It's that part of the show where you don't know what to do with your hands. I guess you just let's let the thing focus. Come on. You can do it. Autofocus. But the back plate of the back IO is, every time I've tried to do this, in this case, it's kicking my ass. I don't know how this is supposed to go. It doesn't exactly fit perfectly either. Yep, we heard that before. I'm just going to put it in there like this and see what happens. I thought this was a magnetic tip. Yep, it is, because I would have just dropped it. I tried to watch a video on this particular part, and nobody really shows you how to connect it, because I don't know if they have the same issue I'm having with this particular case. And the back plate, honestly, the first time I put it in, I took the back plate off and it went in much easier than it. Well, you know what, maybe that's it. Except it's up too high now. I need to come down just a little bit. I don't want to scratch the motherboard, but it's like the back plate holder and like the space for the back. Fuck. Just checking to see if I'm scratching it. I mean, obviously I'm scratching it, but how bad it's being scratched. See, look, these little clips, I don't know what to. I'm trying to just take that off, but then it'll look funny from the back. That's pretty much the only side of it you can see when it's under my desk. You can see the front and the back. But I don't understand. I don't think that's supposed to go in the hole at all. God damn it. Oh, you know what? It just fell into place. No, it didn't. I don't think this motherboard likes this case. I feel like just cutting the back plate out. I'm pretty sure I can get it in like that. I hope this is the hardest part of this, because really it's a pain in my ass. I don't like using this extension piece. I think I might just go get a regular screwdriver. Yep, I'm getting a regular screwdriver. It being magnetic is not very useful if Can't hold on to the damn screw. If you can see these, oh, you probably can't. Never mind. Just pretend everything's fine and might have to do that one with the magnetic one. And that very top corner one's gonna be rough. Some people do this standing up horizontally. I definitely see the benefit from that. But I might have to use this magnetic screwdriver for this. Last three. Oh yeah. Ow. Jesus. Computer probably work off 95% prayer anyway, right? Because I'm not sure this is gonna work. Building is the fun part. I like messing with the hardware stuff. I don't like messing with the software side. Like installing Windows and all that bull crap. There's like build my PC services. I wish they were like install the software services. I'll build it. You just put all the crap on it. Make sure it's configured correctly. Install Word and Windows and all that. That's the stuff I don't want to do. It goes through really tight. At different angles, tighten these up. That was not even. What happens if your motherboard falls out of the dang thing? To be honest with you, hopefully this is the last time I ever have to touch this. Hopefully it one and done. Alright. There's some things here. I know that's like an extra little thing. I know this says AMD AM4, so this is the bracket that needs to go on the pump. Need to do a little bit of more reading maybe. Install Intel screws and standoffs. That's the Intel part. Too easy. Doesn't have an AMD section. Included hardware, AMD. Yep. Super easy. Mounting bracket. Okay, all I need to do is get this on there. Let's leave that right there. Alright. That has been in there forever. Take that off. Take that off. We gotta decide which way we want this thing. Like this, so that the cables are going towards the top of the case and are less noticeable. Probably want to put these in this direction, but like that should be fine. Let's just get this on here facing this direction. We don't want to touch that paste there. And they do need to be pointed up like that. Just already got paste pre-installed. It's going to drop right down on there. Before that happens though, well, I guess one-handed. Okay. All I need is 2 of these, and this part goes on the bottom. And how I've seen folks do it in the past. Oh, sorry. Just barely put that on. And do the same thing again. It's hard to do things one-handed. As long as I don't touch that paste, I should be good. Or even if I do, I can take it off and put more on. Don't want to do that. Alright. So, it's kind of hard for me to get around this camera, but what I've seen done is individually make sure that back one is good to go. Sit it down and put the front one over there. That kind of looks good. It might have to be like this because that power supply cable is going to go right there, but God damn it. I'm making a mess. Nah, I didn't get it on the back one. Actually, I did. So it's hand tight on both of those. Now I'm going to tighten it down evenly. Kind of work over here. My forearm's been in the way of most of this. A couple turns on each side. Dang it. Yep. I'm going to have to take that paste off and reapply it. It's making good contact. I just don't know how to get that on there right and keep it on there. Let me pause it and fix this. Okay, I'm back. I reapplied thermal paste, or wiped it off first. Reapplied thermal paste, put it on there. Got it tight. I don't think it's going anywhere. Leaving those cables right there for the moment. I'm going to cut the video right here, move the camera back to the original spot, and put the power supply in. And get some cables ran, and then some fans put in, and the last piece will be the graphics card. Alright. Alright, we'll put the power supply in there. Paperwork. Zip ties, you can always use a bunch of those. This is the cables. They come in this nice little bag, but we don't need those. This is the unit itself. Back in here first, and then this. Since this has got a bunch of stuff in it, I'm not going through it. But at this point, we kind of want to. It's fully modular. You only plug in what you need to plug in. Y'all already know that, but the fan goes to the bottom, and there's an intake filter and spot right there. So yeah, it spins that way. So maybe it spins out. But take a look at these sleeve cables. I'll set another board. This one's to the PSU, but it wraps around. So a particular pin out for this power supply. So this is separated into two pieces, but it's a 24 pin. Fold those up. Alright, we got peripheral SATA ports. Just for the RGB stuff, I do need 2 SATA, one or two SATA power, and these are 6 pins, so they'll go, this will go right here. Custom made this little short attachment because the only thing it'll be hooked. I need to get another one exactly like this for the power supply, the hard drives, because the way the back plate does the power, it only needs 2, so this could plug right into that. But this can basically run under here and be hidden, zip tied down. And you don't really need that long of a cable. I do need it says 6+2 PCI plus. Okay, so these are all the same thing, I think. 6+2 PCIe and 4+4 CPU. So I do have particular cables that go. These two go up here to the. I'll go ahead and plug these up here. These are hard to do. I don't know if I need both of these, but it's got 2 slots and I got 2 cables. We'll do that first. But I definitely need. I'm wondering if these are the same output, because I know the power supply output's 12, 3.5, and 5 volts or something like that. But I'm wondering which ones. These are definitely a PCIe, and this side's the PSU. I got these at specific links, but now I'm kind of messed up because I don't know which slot is PCIe and which slot's EPS. But those are all the cables we need. Just put this in here. These cables are kind of stiff for real. That's got a little bit of extra length on it. First we gotta get it in there. Take that off. Got some more case screws right here. Let's see if this is the right screw. Yep. Nope. It'll work. What am I doing wrong here? Go right there. It's getting a little difficult. And go like this. Already had 4 in here. That's my bad. Then this little bolt. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Kind of talking to myself. Alright, there we go. All these screws back in here. Alright, now I'm going to plug up these two CPU. I think they're called EPS. Yep, EPS. It looks like plug in this way. And we can kind of these cable combs, get them looking right. I haven't trained these cables yet, so they're gonna have to kind of. As long as they stay right there, they'll be okay. All the cable combs down here. Right up there. I'm gonna do this from here. That way I can train this cable a little bit on the way in there. So, what I mean by that is training a cable, molding it to the way you want it to go, or the opposite. Let's do the opposite way. Kind of want this to plug in and then move right back in there. That's important because definitely need room for these fans to mount to the top. Alright, I got plenty of cable combs. I got make it look pretty here in case. And maybe a couple extra ones before going down the back of the case there. I want both of them kind of lean the same way. I don't want one of them leaning this way and one of them leaning that way. That's good. Now with that on there, I can put these 240mm fans, hopefully. I don't think the RAM's going to be a problem. Actually, I don't know if these are fitting there. put those pieces right back there. Let's see. Oh yeah. You can't see this, but this is a good idea. But I'm gonna bend these connectors. I'm gonna have to, and I have to bend them way back. Let me see the other one. If I can get the other one pushed on the edges here. Let me try it. Obviously don't want to break anything, but I want to be able to utilize the fans that I bought. So. Alright. These guys have a direction of flow and fan. And we want this to push air out the top, so I don't know if you can see that, but there's an arrow in there for the direction of the fan spin and then the direction of the air flow. Anyway, so that spins this way, pushes air that way, and you want this cable to be at the back of the case for easy routing. Wait, I've been tricked. Actually, it doesn't matter. On the other fans, there's a flag on the RGB side, but each one has its own connector anyway, so it can only go into one of the sides of that commander core. One's power, one's RGB, but both plugs are different, so it's all good. Dang, it's already 10:30. Sorry I'm standing in the way, but there's not. I wish I had two cameras, then it'd be a better picture, but I only have the one camera right now. Okay, so as long as I just get this all the way up against the front of this grate that they screw into, as long as I can do that, I can probably get both of these in there. It's going to move them quite a bit forward, quite a bit more forward than I wanted to, but I didn't take account for that cable. And they definitely don't make right angle cables for that. Well, they might, but I've never seen them. Switch to the screwdriver. It's not magnetic, but it's better. Screwing the back ones down first, so that it's less likely to move on me when I screw these ones down. I might cut into the case a little bit. real test, hopefully. Hopefully this will fit in there. I just noticed that too. Definitely have to pass one of these cables through there. And the other one plugs up to the motherboard. On the CPU fan header. Oh, that's a single cable wire that goes right. CPU fan 1 right there. And this one is back. Plugs into that commander cord. Gotta find a way to hide that, but we'll do that later. For right now, let's we're probably gonna do like a montage of the cable management. Speed it up. Mute my microphone. Speed it up times 5. It's gonna take forever. It's not running that up again. Let's see this well. Might not even get it in here. What if comes a little bit below it? We got plenty of cable. I see that works for me. That way I don't have to buy new fans. I can use the one I've already bought. Win-win. Maybe so much RGB in here. Can't wait to turn this thing on. Hopefully it powers up. Okay. Now let's get the last 3 fans in here. And call it a day. Oh, we got cable in. Plug everything in, but then I'll unpause it to same type deal. We want the cable towards your back and make sure it's spinning the right way. Actually, unfortunately, it needs to be like that. So these ones use these longer case screws. And you definitely kind of gotta, come on, I have focus. Zoom in a little bit. Alright, recap, says resumes in. We got two 140 millimeter fans up here, two 120 down here, and I'll put the exhaust fan up too, but these case screws, you need to leave them loose because of the way the fan fits in here. And these fans are a little bit bigger than, I guess, normal fans. I just realized I need to plug in some front panel connectors really quick before I put these fans in, so that that's not blocked off. It's fine, shouldn't take too long. Couple minutes. Might as well stand up. I need a desk that rises. A rising desk. Another computer joke. Pull this stuff up. I don't know if this goes. Seems to be staying, but if it falls, I might just Velcro it. Okay. Front panel stuff is sit tight together. Or Velcro together. Front USB. There's one down here too. I think I'm going to plug that one in the front. There's some USB and some audio. Audio can go here. The USB can go here too. The only reason this is here is let me see. USB 3.0 right here. This is definitely janky. It only goes in one way. There we go. This is the audio header for up front. It's keyed and there's a pin missing. It only goes in one way. You can't do it wrong. If you do, you bent the pins. This is USB for the front. It literally, I don't want to waste the USB header. Well, there's one right there too. Is that USB? Yeah, I think so. There's one right here, one right here. That's not labeled USB, so I don't know. I'm just going to plug this one here. It's also keyed, and it's missing key in the lower on right. Only goes in one way. Then we have, I have to look at the manual for the next one, but we have front panel power switches and stuff, which if I remember correctly are up here. Oh yeah, that's what that is. And I have to pause it real quick and go get the manual. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. Working hard, so I got me a little snacky snack. Anyway, always refer to your manual, kids. We're on the right side, hand side of this board. On pinout JFP1. Alright. And you can't see this. Alright, we're right here. And pin 1. Power LED plus and power LED minus are broken up into 2 pins. And they go in 2 and 4. Plus first, and then minus. Come on. There we go. Power switch. Which one's plus one, which one's minus on this one? Hopefully like that. It really doesn't say plus or minus. It has an arrow on one of them. I'm guessing that's a plus. So this one goes on right behind power switch on pins 1, 3, 5, and 7, but they're opposite. Negative first and positive. I don't have a 10 pin, so that's cool. That's your front I/O, except for this guy. I might have to do this one from the back. Fuck it, I'll just put it right here. I don't know if I can though. Yeah, this bracket makes it hard to put in that one. You can't see that, but there's a USB 3.0 header right there, or yeah, 3.0 header right there. But it's hard to get to. There's one right here beside the 24 pin. That's a lot easier to get to. There we go. Done. Right. Get a piece of Velcro. Piece of Velcro. Oh, okay, that was for that USB plug was for the commander cord, so it already got hooked up. Those are 2.0 ports. I guess the only one's on the I/O or 3.0. So I got another 2.0 right there if I need it. Let me just go ahead and hook it up. For wait, I still need another SATA cable. I don't have it. Well, I do in the power supply box. But I'm just going to end up using a splitter and at least on the power. But let me see. Yeah, this is LED. So at least I get to control the RGB separately, which is kind of the point. If I plug this cable in to the other USB spot, then it kind of blows all my ports for USB 2.0, but who uses that, right? Except for RGB, I guess. I'm using 2.0 for any data stuff. So. Right. I can put these fans in with no problem. Yeah, this cable management might take all night. Because I'll turn around and show you before I start the time lapse, but I'm doing a pretty good job cable managing at least what's already there. The cables, like for instance, these two cables are laying on top of each other the whole length of the cable. So it's not. I'll show you, but I'm going kind of crazy with the cable management. I don't want any loose cables in this build. Because the plan is just to turn it off, take it out from under the desk, pop the sides off and spray it, air can it out every month or so, every couple of weeks. And there's a bunch of cables in the way, it makes that harder. I'll get a ESD data vac, but the one I want is pretty much just a electronic air pusher that blows air out instead of sucking air in. do this in steps, but I'll do all the PSU power cables first, and then do all the RGB. But it looks like it's kind of all together in the back. I'm gonna put these fans. I'll leave them loose so I can tighten them up later. Alright. Lined up. Where's my earphone? I'm down over here without any music. There we go. Alright, last one. I need to get a Sharpie. One, two, three, four, five. This will be 6. Put a little 6 on here. 1 second. I'm gonna put the GPU in here and try to power it on. Need to see if. Alright. We should be at the last part here. I'm going to put the GPU in, plug it in, plug the PC in, and give it a test boot. Come a USB stick with should be almost done. Didn't even eat my snack. So real quick, so I ended up just splitting channel 5 and 6 on both the RGB, the fan RGB and the fan power. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but these two are connected and these two are connected and these two are connected. So it won't much matter. I normally stick to just static colors anyway, but for those times that it is like a rainbow effect or some other kind of RGB effect, they will be the same. The only other way I can get around that is plugging stuff into motherboard headers, and I didn't want to do that. Just makes the front of the case look all crazy. Alright. Do a little bit more unscrewing. But here it is. It's kind of gunmetal on black. Got a little bit of white light up here. Oh, dang it. Okay. My cable's backwards. That's not a big deal, but wait, actually it's backwards. Okay. Anyway, sit this down. Anti-static bags, man. All the static collects on the outside, so don't sit electronics on. Alright, so if I'm not mistaken, it's 2 and 3. These little thumb screws have gaskets on the back of them, but they suck. Look at that. It rips. It doesn't matter. It's even glued down and it rips. Alright, you saw me open. It's exciting. This is the best part. Silence, please. It kind of looks, I don't know, I want a longer card, but this kind of lines right up with the motherboard. Alright, put these screws back in here. Shoo, exciting. So excited. Go ahead. I mean, it looks good. It's black. It complements the build. It's black and silver. It looks good enough. that's about it. Plenty of these combs to make the cable look good. I can fix that later. It is 1:30. I'm trying to get this done. You can definitely spend days and hours please, cleaning up the cables, but I think that looks pretty good. I'll plug the USB into I did probably a little bit more buttoning up than I should have without first seeing everything works, but it's driving me nuts. Come on. Alright, like I said. Maybe you can't see it. I don't know. It's not picking up right. But this one actually has a ring around it. Plug that in there. Get a power cable. Zoom back out. I hate this slider. I'm going to plug it in. Flip switch. Let's see if anything. Yep. Alright. That's a good sign. I'm trying to flash the BIOS here. It's blinking. It's definitely doing stuff. And there's a lot of bling bling. I just so happen to have a monitor over here. I'll have to look up this ghost code in a second anyway. I'll find an HDMI cable. Alright, we got an HDMI cable. Look at all that rainbow poop. Or unicorn poop. What's the front of it? Oh, that's cool too. There's a party going on. Let's see what's going on with this thing. Guys, all over there. Something about having extra monitor laying around. No signal. Okay, let's hit the reset button. Come on. That shit's not turning off. Oh, looking at it. Let me troubleshoot this for a second. Alright, so the BIOS is updating. Had to use another flash drive because I actually partitioned this one so that it would act as two drives. Basically cut it in half. It's 64 gigs or something, or I don't remember, but because I needed a partition for Windows install media and one to upload or update the BIOS, but the one the BIOS was on was formatted as NSFT or whatever that is, and it needs to be FAT32 for this to work. So it's definitely reading it, it's doing its thing. It'll restart probably. Hopefully after that it'll show up on the screen. There's a whole lot of blinking going on, but that's it. After that I can install Windows, or install Windows onto the operating system drive and call it a night. then the big thing is playing with the fan speed and memory speed and also RGB. And then we'll do some testing on it. But for right now, I'm gonna cut it short. Thanks for watching. We'll pick back up tomorrow in a separate video. Maybe just a few pictures. Maybe some B-roll. Not sure. Alright, later. Bye.